What's going on, everybody? It's Brian Aragon here, professional inline skater, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to properly do a backside grind across a quarter pipe such as this one right here. So the main thing, when you get up to this level and you're ready to start grinding, you're already ready and you know how to pump a ramp. So basically, a backside is going to consist of stalling. So everybody, before you start grinding, you need to know how to stall. And what a stall is, a backside stall, is essentially when you're stalling in the middle of your frames, in between all four wheels on both skates. So what it would look like is basically standing on the coping with your legs slightly bent, just whatever feels comfortable, but you're gonna wanna be in the middle of your skates or else bad things do happen. So the first thing to do, before you start actually trying to grind it, you're gonna wanna drop in, and I'm gonna show you how the stall is gonna look on this side. So when you get to the top of the ramp, you're gonna wanna turn your body and land on the middle of your wheels. Just like that. Depending on how you land on it, you're either gonna be super on top or you're gonna be inside. So the way I landed on it right now, I'm on my middle wheels and I'm on top. So either way, it's a stall even if you're inside. It just allows you, if you get on top, it allows you to balance for longer periods of time. So the more times that you practice this trick, the better you're gonna get at judging how much speed to take on where you need to be. So I'm gonna do a couple more stalls for you guys. It's gonna be turn your body and stall. Turn your body, land on it, stall. And as you can see, every time that I landed on the coping, my feet weren't directly together and they weren't wide. They were just at a comfortable distance to me. Everybody has their own distances. I've seen people do this trick with their feet way wider than their shoulders or even closer, but for me, it's usually like, it's always about shoulder width to me. I feel like once you get out of that range, you lose control and things start feeling weird. So I always like to keep my body pretty tight and pretty secure. So after you've mastered the stalling part and you're landing in the middle every time, you can start thinking about the next part of the trick, which is going to actually be carving at the trick so you have the momentum to glide you across the coping. A good way to practice this is just doing basic carves by the coping. You don't actually have to start sliding yet. So what that would look like is basically like this. You want to take a slight carve at it and get by the coping, but don't actually grind it. By doing these carves like this, you're not only getting yourself prepared to slide across the coping, but you're getting your body ready and letting it know how much speed you actually are gonna need to take into it. So after doing that, I saw how much speed I had. I was right below the coping, so I know I just need a little bit more to get right on top and actually slide across. So after you practice those carves for a little while, it's gonna become more and more comfortable and you're gonna be like, okay, my body's getting more familiar with this quarter pipe, and then you're gonna be ready to start getting on the trick. All right, so after you've practiced your stalls and you feel comfortable with that, and you've practiced carving and kind of understand the speed that you need to get on the coping and slide, you're gonna wanna put those two concepts together. And it doesn't have to be sliding all the way first try. You can slide an inch, you can slide 2 inches. Regardless of how you do it, you still gotta learn and you gotta take it step by step. So right now, I'm gonna show you how I would do it if I was just getting ready to do the trick. Not trying to slide the whole thing, but just trying to do a little bit at a time. So basically what it's gonna be is taking some speed, carving, and getting on just a little bit. Why it's so important to do this is because any quarter pipe you skate is gonna slide different. The coping at some parks is going to be much faster than coping at others. For instance, the coping that I'm skating on right now is very fast. So just doing that, getting on, I kind of understand now how fast I need to go to slide the whole thing, how on top I need to be, everything like that. So it's never bad to be too prepared when you're skating something that's as fast as this or any coping in general. So the next thing, after you start sliding a little bit, you can start getting more comfortable, and the more comfortable you get, the farther you're gonna slide and just the more solid you're gonna feel on your trick. So right now I'm gonna combine all the steps that we did I'm gonna take more speed into my carve. I'm gonna get on top of the coping more. I'm gonna have my shoulders parallel with the coping, and I'm gonna be looking in the direction I'm going and deciding where I'm gonna drop back in. Okay, so I'm gonna put all those steps together right now and show you how a backside is gonna look on a quarter pipe. So as you can see on that one, I dropped in, I took a little bit more speed, I landed with the coping directly in the middle of my two skates. My feet were about shoulder width apart, maybe a little bit wider, depending on how you feel comfortable. Shoulders were parallel, and I decided where I wanted to drop in. I was looking at it, and then I lifted my feet off the coping and dropped in. So let's run through that one more time, put all those steps together. Drop in, carve, turn, slide, look where you're dropping in. So when you do the steps in that order that I just showed you, you make it a lot easier on yourself and take off a lot of the risks that people associate with skating. So when you prepare yourself more, you're gonna have greater success, and it doesn't have to be so risky. So like I said, you're gonna drop in, come with speed, make your carve, have your shoulders parallel. Wheels, you're gonna have the coping right in the middle of your frames. Look where you're gonna be grinding, and then when you decide you wanna go back in, you're gonna lift your feet and pump your legs in. It's Brian Aragon signing off with how to do a backside on a quarter pipe. Take care.